Today I have something special for you. It's a very tiny, very weird, very cute tour of my sketchbooks. Enjoy! Hi everyone! I would like to take you on a tiny tour. It's literally the tiniest tour you'll ever get of my sketchbooks because these are my smallest sketchbooks ever. And also my first sketchbook in my adult life. And I don't really have any sketchbooks from my earlier life, teenage years or childhood, because I didn't have any. I only had loose paper ever, or blocks of paper. Okay, so there will be a whole range of times that this covers. My first sketchbook started in January 2020, and then there's July and August 2020. Come on, the year we don't want to remember. Maybe that's why I got it wrong. And then 2021 and 2022. So it will be a vast range, starting from super early. Let's start. Okay, I have to tie it together because it will open by itself, like it's broken. So this one I got from Flying Tiger, I think. Oh no. Yeah, Flying Tiger Copenhagen. I don't know what they're called at the moment, but that shop with lots of cheap supplies and things like that. And it was really cute, and I was like, I want it. And I often buy cute stuff like that. And because it's so cheap and because it's so small, I managed to kick off my drawing pretty well. So this was from a course on Skillshare. So this is 6th of January. That was day number 6 of my drawing journey or illustration journey. So it's pretty cool to see that. But yeah, these are all I should zoom in. Okay, let's keep calm. I've just gone to almost the last page of this sketchbook and realized I wasn't recording. So let's start again. This is my tiny sketchbook, volume 1. And unfortunately I've lost number 2 somewhere, who knows where. Maybe I'll find it one day, but I doubt it. I started it at the very beginning of my illustration journey. Basically on the 1st of January 2020, I decided I was going to draw every day until I've learned, and that I was going to be an illustrator. And on the 6th of January I started this particular sketchbook. I also did lots of digital art, but this was my first, actually my first ever sketchbook, because as a teen and as a child I didn't really use sketchbooks. And these few pages will be from a Skillshare course about drawing faces and expressions. So I was just copying all the different eyes and trying to come up with my own eyes and expressions. And I'm trying not to be upset about not recording still. Oh yeah, there's some mouths, and maybe I should zoom in a little bit so you can see better. But yeah, just trying different shapes and mouths and eyes and noses and so on. Then I drew these. These are blob faces, what I used to call, and what I call blob faces. And basically you draw a blob of color on the page and then you kind of fill it with detail. And the blobs can go crazy or not, it's up to you how they should look. This is really fun. And I've used it in some workshops that I gave to people, and they love this exercise, and I highly recommend trying it out. It's really fun. So you just fill in various shapes and expressions. And sometimes it helps to have a reference of expressions and faces that you can draw from, and that's how I started. And then over time I didn't really need it anymore. A few more blobs. This one I was trying to draw myself, I think. A few more, some extreme expressions. I quite like taking something to the extreme. Yeah, I tend to do that a lot. Some expressions again, like trying to go crazy with them. Some more blobs, and like, you know, this isn't my best page, but in sketchbooks you can do whatever you want, and it's been what, 3 years? Over 3 years, and I haven't shown this to anyone, and you know, I didn't have to, so why be so scared? Like, you're the only judge. Just go for it and play in it. This is definitely from that the Skillshare course, and I wish I could link you to it, but once you've stopped paying for the subscription on Skillshare, they don't give you access to it anymore, so you kind of lose all your progress and everything. So I can't credit the person who did the course, but it was called Drawing Faces with Character, I think, something along those lines. Some more blobs. Oops, his hair fell off from anger. Yeah, mistakes happen. So I was trying to draw myself anxious, because I was really anxious at the time. Yeah, that's me. Kind of. Not this one, obviously. Don't have a beard. Some peaceful expressions, surprise, or like, don't really know what to describe this one as. And look at this cute bunny? Why do I want to call her bunny? Granny. That's the word. That's the word. Look at her. I think drawing old people is adorable. Like this guy even is great. If I can focus. So yeah. Like, she features in my drawings a lot in various shapes and forms. And then hopefully probably relatable for a lot of us. Trying to get the Friday like. Oh god, there, finally calm. I had a lot of anxiety at the time. And then last year's Fab to Burn. Like, I was trying to do a weird shaped blob and it just didn't work, and I just drew this line stupidly. Like, yeah. This is one of those pages where you don't know what happened, but it's part of the journey. They don't teach you that. Or like, I didn't know that it was going to be such a big part of the journey. Like, you can call it failing, but it's not really failing, it's just making progress and learning and experimenting. If you don't experiment, you won't learn, and if you don't experiment, if you experiment, you will make ugly stuff as well. So who cares if you get where you want to get. An old guy, maybe not old, maybe a little bit old, and then myself running. I did park runs at the time, not anymore sadly. And then a few more expressions. Like, this guy is really angry, like losing his shit. And then a few more blobs, and then this one is like, I tried to use a white pen on top. I can't remember if it's Posca or some other kind of pen, but I've tried a lot of different supplies over the years. Some more faces on blobs, I kind of like them. That nose shape used to be my, like, maybe not signature, because I'm not the only person who's ever done that, but that used to be my thing for a long time. I've kind of grown out of it. I don't like it as much anymore. A guy with a fly. Hey, as a rhyme. A guy with a fly. And a baby with only a few teeth. I used to draw like fake mouth like that for adults as well, a lot. And then some experiments with patterns and like different mediums, like white gel pen, Fineliners, different thicknesses, and then like, I can recognize this pen. It's Tombow brush pen with like dual tips, so this one's like the hard tip. Fruity. Again, didn't really like it, but I was trying it out. A monstera leaf of like that's actually from my plant, and it's grown so much since. It's crazy. It's almost reaching the ceiling, and it's only not grown way too big because I'm not giving it a bigger pot because it will go nuts. And that's an avocado plant that's long dead. I don't know why, but as soon as I put an avocado plant in a pot, in soil, it just slowly dies off. Like all the leaves you can see slowly dying off, and it's just so sad. So my current one I'm just keeping in a water jar of water, and I've had it for maybe 4 years now, and it's still good. So avocado plants grow best in just water. They do quite well. And a few more blobs, trying to draw different things. I wish I stuck to it because I still can't really draw like props and things like that. But it would be nice to know more about like how to use mediums to do that kind of thing. Some plants, some crystals. I'm not really into crystals, but I just saw someone that inspired me to do it, like to try it out and see how they looked. Kind of think this page looks good. Also, apologies for the lighting. It was really sunny, and then I started recording, and then it wasn't sunny anymore. So that's that. Here's a drawing I made for my Patreon. So I must have opened my Patreon up at around that time, and I was sharing these drawings on it, and then I drew this page for it. I mean, I could have tried a bit harder, I guess, but it was like on one of my original posts. You can, if you join my Patreon, it's still up, so you will find it there. And then a weird hand. I think I was trying like to not fill the gaps as much. Still not good with that. Some plants, dainty, kind of small flowers. If dainty means delicate and small, which I think it does. I'm doing my best with English. Hopefully do it justice. And then some experiments again. I love how much stuff I managed to put into such a small space. It's just really cool to see after all these years. 3 years, but yeah. Cool, fun plants. And we have blobs in 2 colors this time, just experimenting and like trying to see what comes out of it. I feel like I'm shaking my table, but I don't know how. I'm not touching the arm that holds my phone, so I don't know. Anyway, my earrings are like using glitter pen. It's a Posca pen, not Posca, Copic pen. It came in a set of Copics and a fineliner and this pen. And it was really fun, like I really loved using it. So yeah, this granny, this granny is in a lot of stuff. Hey, there's a smile from fruit because the page didn't turn out very good, so I just drew it as a smile to keep it, happy and not worry too much. Some more blobbies. I think they're kind of fun. There's just so much variety you can do with just a few expressions and like a few colors, a few tiny pages. Don't need to spend money. You probably have all you need at home already. Hey, there's a vampire. I think I really like him. He's batty, isn't he? And some fun expressions. Now we have more jewel color, and I was trying to get more into detail. And if I ever find my second sketchbook, so it was Tiny Sketchbook Volume 2, I would have lots and lots of these much more detailed drawings, and I bought the smallest Fineliners possible and used those. And yeah, I'm full of regret that I've lost it, because I thought it was a good idea to bring it to the market, and I haven't seen it since. I wish I had them. Moving on. Things happen and you will lose stuff. Thankfully I have photos of the pages that I've lost, so at least there's that. I kind of like how these two colors look next to each other and kind of these two. So that was quite fun. A few more expressions. Even more expressions. Trying to go a bit different, like different haircuts, and trying to draw men, which I'm not very good at. Like, I don't really draw men much, or well. This was super fun. Trying to draw more of a body as well. A few more, like, look, his legs. There's a whole person in one tiny blob. Another vampire. A person on the phone reading a book or a zine. Let's say a zine because it's quite small. I think I'm losing my voice a bit. A few more. Again, a full person. I kind of redrew this person, or this, even all of these. I redrew in some form later on. Maybe I should hold it like this for a minute. I tried really hard to fit this old person into the blob, and the legs are really short. And this guy, I remember redrawing this as well later on. This person with a broken leg, just to fit it, you know. I did a lot to fit her in. And this guy, weird eyes that are the eyes are coming out of his sockets. Because why not? I think it was a mistake, but hey. And a few more. Tried a cat, but yeah. And this granny, or this person, used to be one of my favorites for a long time. And I had stickers with it, and I still have them. So if you place an order with me, there's always 2 freebie stickers, and she's one of them. So yeah. And I found them for you. Look. I know it's not the same design because I've redrawn them. I have redrawn her and a lot of the other characters so many times. But that's the one. And I was kind of, when I was starting out, I was kind of drawing and trying to put stuff in my shop as soon as I could, because how else do you get feedback? How else do I get motivated? That was my motivation, and it worked really well. Like, the moment I got my first sale, that was just like, wow, someone liked enough to pay for it, money. And I was mind blown, and yeah, amazing feeling. So this is a page, top tip, when you're drawing on paper with markers, put it, like if I was drawing on this page, I would put this one behind it, and the markers will almost always bleed, like most sketchbooks will bleed, and then all the bleed goes on this page, and then just move it around as you go. So that's what this was for. I just kept it because it's a nice reminder. And then imposter. This page is imposter, or I was an imposter, who knows. There you go. Maybe I just learned what an imposter syndrome was, who knows. I didn't know it for that long, to be honest. Okay, all the nice colors swatched here. So that's sketchbook, truly sketchbook number 1. It's really cool. I love it. It reminds me of like the good times of trying to learn to draw and being full of hope and not really realizing how hard it can be, but also how fun it can be. Okay, let's move on. I think this won't take that long, so I'll do more. And maybe should I jump ahead? I'll jump ahead to one that's not really finished, and I don't know if I'll ever finish it. So this is from a Sketchbook Revival in 2022. So oh my god, that was last year. the the first thing that they taught on Sketchbook Revival, maybe I should tell you a little bit more about it. So this year is just past, so you've missed it if you wanted to join it. Although they might have paid for workshops, but I don't know. Basically every year in March or around March time, Kara Abend and nowadays a few more people are doing Sketchbook Revival, and it's like a couple weeks, I think, of workshops, 2 workshops for free every day for a couple weeks. So that's quite a lot of workshops, and I think it's like 28 or maybe a few more, because they do like the first making sketchbook one. I think they've made it early this year, but anyway, I'm rambling now. So they taught us how to make sketchbooks, and I decided to make a mini one. So it's like a, what's this called? A craft paper, and it's Copic stitched or link stitch. So I was super proud of being able to do this myself, and that was the first time I made a sketchbook, I think, or maybe a second time, but it was super fun. And I added this date later on with my label printer, and then I used some scrap paper. I like to save paper, like this is from my linocut printing. I just spread some remaining paint to clean my roller on some newsprint paper and used that. And I did lots of watercolor painting in it. Maybe not lots because it's not very big. But yeah, I never finished it. I didn't want to mess it up, but I think if I finished it now, it will look much better than just this half-finished page. And then I painted this one. I was just going around, because it was March, I was going around and like looking at plants, and I kept taking pictures, reference photos. Obviously, most of them have never been used, but this one was a plant, like a random weed or something. And I really impressed myself with how, like, this isn't great because like I damaged the paper, but the paper was cheap as well. I just used scrap paper basically. But I impressed myself with like that I could actually draw a flower, you know. Then I was trying to do a, what's it called? Dandelion. But like before it grew to be a dandelion. Oh my god, I'm not making sense, but I don't know what they're called right off the top of my head. And the rest of it is blank. And hopefully one day I will get to finish it. Maybe I should soon. Okay, let's go back in time. This one's July 2020 to August, so like in the middle of the pandemic and lockdown-ish. I think there maybe has been a lift of the rules, like lockdown, for a bit around summer, but I can't remember exactly when, so let's do this one next. This concludes part 1 of the video. I would like to welcome you very soon for part 2. It's already planned and it's coming, I think, within a week or 2, so tune in for that. You know what to do, the usual. I won't bore you to death with those. Have a lovely day full of artsing. Bye!